Good morning, traders. This is TonyD from easyMarkets. We've had a very volatile night overnight. You've seen the market switch into US dollar selling against most things, not though the euro. What we've seen is the yields in Germany and in the US start dropping overnight. Very weird sort of price action, hard to put a finger on it. A little bit of concerns over the Middle East tensions, Saudi Arabia, internal purges going on there. Also, you've got oil spiking the fresh highs. Hasn't really damaged stock market sentiment just yet. Stock markets are fresh highs, and so is the US oil, and the VIX is remaining quite low. So it's not really getting into broader risk off, but the US dollar is taking a hit. Now, this could be because of some nascent concerns about the tax plan not going to get passed anytime soon. McCain coming out saying it's dead on arrival in its current form. This is leading to a little bit of opening that some of the pairs can rally against it. But notably, the euro did not. And so the dollar yen did a lot of the heavy lifting. After first making a fresh high in the Asian session, you saw a sharp reversal. Now this is called a slingshot reversal, one of the more dangerous setup patterns where key level is broken, this being the 114.40 to 50 resistance zone, the high of the year, then reversing back down and ending on a new lower lows for the last few days. Now, if the market was to continue to sell off, that would encourage more sellers because it's such a technically negative signal. But you're probably going to have to see the stock market or some sort of bigger story come out hurting the US dollar for that to get some follow through here. But the opening of the market to do that is happening right now. The Aussie dollar took advantage of the surge in commodities, was well supported. Canadian dollar, very well supported as well, breaking down to fresh new lows from Friday's dip on its strong Canadian dollar unemployment numbers. So the CAD unemployment numbers were strong on Friday at the same time that the US missed by a little. But there wasn't much follow through, and that follow through only came through yesterday when you saw that spike high in oil on those rising Middle East tensions. Not only Saudi Arabia getting upset with internally, you're getting Saudi Arabia saying that Iran's starting to feed missiles to the Yemen rebels, and that's another potential flashpoint. That at the moment when demand for oil is increasing, the last thing that you need is a supply disruption with oil already at fresh year highs. The Bitcoin is having its own sort of volatility. Well, I mean, this is very normal. Bitcoin every day is a volatile day, but yesterday we did get a fall back from 7,500 down to the 7,000 level. There is an upcoming fork. People are profit taking. Still intraday, very volatile. You could walk away from the Bitcoin chart, come back. It could be $100 one way or the other quite easily on little or no reasoning. So you got to just broadly keep your numbers when you're trading Bitcoin much bigger in terms of the swing percentages. And the way to do that is probably to use something like the ATR, just to know the sort of size that a big move is. A 500 is nothing to get too excited about, but anything above that, you can start to say that the market's starting to move more than it should on little to no reason. So there should be a story out there that's gathering interest, and then you can check in to see how big a story that is when it comes to the Bitcoin market. Obviously, last week what you saw was the CME news came out. That was $1,500 story. All right, when China banned the ICOs and Bitcoin, you did see a sell-off that took a couple of days, but it was good for around about $2,000 on the downside. So certain stories definitely have different levels of support and follow through. We'll see how big the CMEs probably play through now. So really, we're waiting for that next big story in that space. If you do have questions about that, you can come through to the dealing room. If you have questions about the RBA as well, shouldn't be a big event coming up in 2 hours. Broadly, they're one of the most neutral central banks out there. Interesting to see if they drop their concern about the Australian dollar, as we are 3 cents lower than last time they met. So perhaps they're not as concerned about the Australian dollar as previously, but we'll see what they say coming out in 2 hours time. Shouldn't be the biggest event. Much more important this week is to see if stocks and the Trump's visit to Asia is continuing to create headlines. Hasn't really put his foot in his mouth just yet, but give him some time. He's going to South Korea next, and then on to China over the weekend. Best of luck, guys.